On this episode, I'm going to share with you some reasons why some Jeep owners want to extend the fender flares on their Jeeps. I'm going to discuss with you some possible options, some expensive and some less expensive. I'm going to show you how I install the extended fender flares on my Jeep, and then in the tip segment, I'm going to have a discount code for those of you who want to do the same. So stick around. Many Jeep owners, such as myself, have installed larger tires on their Jeeps, and as such, a lot of mud, sand, and stone will get flung onto the side mirror, as well as your body panels, as well as your rear fender flares, not to mention other vehicles on the road behind you. That is why there are many jurisdictions that have regulations against having your tires extend beyond the fender flares. This is why many Jeep owners look for a solution to this, such as extending the fender flares on your Jeep. One solution that has received high recommendations on the forums is the double black off-road fender flare extensions for the JL as well as the Gladiator JT. They are made of hard plastic. The plastic matches the plastic trim along the fenders of the Jeep Wrangler and the Gladiator, and they look pretty good. And as great as these looked, when I checked out the price in Canadian dollars from Epic Adventure Outfitters, $850 seemed a little bit too spendy for a solution that involves a few pieces of plastic to extend my fender flares. So I kept looking for a cheaper TV solution. And so now I introduce you to EasyFlares.com. They have fender flare extensions, but they're not hard plastic. They are a foam and rubber material, which might be a little more forgiving on the trail if you hit a branch or a rock. They not only come in the 2-inch size, but they also come in a 1-inch size for those of you who don't want that aggressive a look. But even better about these extensions are the prices. They are currently on sale now. For example, if you were to get the Easy Flares XL, which is the 2-inch extensions roll, you would be able to get them for $64.99 a roll. And to do your Jeep Wrangler or Gladiator, you would require 2 rolls because each roll would be enough material for 2 fenders. So that seems to me like a cheaper TV solution. But how are they going to look and how easy are they to install? Well, EasyFlares.com were kind enough to send me not only the 1-inch Easy Flare, but also the Easy Flare XL, which is the 2-inch model. So here is a close-up look of the standard 1-inch model Easy Flare, and you can see the 3M tape, which is used to secure the Easy Flare to the plastic trim piece of the Jeep fender flare. And here you see the profile of the Easy Flare XL, which is the 2-inch model, which is very similar to the standard one, except this does have a little ledge that butts up against the Jeep's plastic fender flare that you can see right here. That helps with trim fitment, and you'll see that during the installation part of this video. Well, the first step in installing your Easy Flare extensions is to clean the plastic fender trim piece of your Jeep Wrangler or Gladiator with isopropyl alcohol. Then simply peel the red plastic from the 3M tape and adhere the Easy Flare to the plastic trim piece of your fender flare. Have an inch or 2 extend beyond the starting point so you could trim it later. It's recommended that you are doing this in temperatures above 20 degrees Celsius or 70 degrees Fahrenheit. If that's not the case, but it's close, you could use a heat gun or a hairdryer to warm up the plastic. And when you're done, you could just trim the end of the piece as per your liking. You could either have a straight cut like I did here, or you could put a curve in it. And really, that's as easy as an Easy Flare installation can be. Now, I just went around and made sure I applied some pressure all the way around the fender flare to make sure that I had good adhesion. If I had a small roller, I would use that at this point as well. But for now, I'm just going around and making sure I'm putting a lot of pressure on the tape to make sure I've got good adhesion. So once that's done, I just go check the ends and trim them to my liking. So I'm pretty happy with my work so far, and as you can see here, the material is very flexible, which would come in handy on the trail should you bump against a tree or a rock. So with the first front one done, let's move on and do the back one. So just as we did in the front, we'll clean the plastic trim piece of the Jeep's fender flare with isopropyl alcohol. And then simply follow the same steps as we did in the front. Peel back the red plastic piece so that the Easy Flare 3M tape will stick to the Jeep's plastic trim piece of its fender flare. Start by leaving an inch or two at the beginning so you could trim to your liking. You could lightly add pressure to tack in the flare to the plastic trim piece of the Jeep, and once you're sure it's where you want it to be, you could apply pressure to make sure it adheres properly. And then complete the installation by leaving an inch or two at the end and trim to your liking as well. So here you have it, the Easy Flare XL. That's the Easy Flare 2-inch model, and you can see what it looks like on a Jeep Wrangler JL. And now what I'm going to do is install the 1-inch version on another Wrangler JL, so you could let me know which one you prefer. I'd first like to thank my friend Doug, who agreed to install the 1-inch Easy Flares on his Rubicon with his 35-inch tires. The one difference that we will apply to the installation of the 1-inch model of the Easy Flare is that we're going to remove the plastic rivets, install the flare, and then reinstall new rivets. As you saw in my installation that this isn't necessary, but Doug was making a repair and had the new rivets to install anyway, so we thought we'd see how it comes out. As we observed in the initial installation, we have to use isopropyl alcohol and clean the inside trim piece of the fender liner. To be able to locate the holes in the fender liner of the plastic rivets, Doug is taping some pieces of masking tape along the outer edge and then marking the locations of the holes so that he could locate where to put the new plastic rivets. And of course this is done on all the wheel wells. And just as in my installation, Doug is peeling back the plastic from the 3M tape to be able to adhere the Easy Flare to the plastic trim of the wheel well of the Jeep, leaving a little excess at the end from which you could trim to your liking later. Doug then used a roller to help apply pressure to the back of the Easy Flare to help the 3M tape adhere firmly. Doug used a 3/16 drill bit to auger a hole to help the plastic rivet find its way into the fender flare. Now, although it's not necessary to do this as you saw in my installation, but if you were inclined to do so, you can. Here. And when you follow the same process on all the wheels, you can install all the Easy Flares on your whole Jeep. So here we have the Easy Flare, the 1-inch version on the 35-inch tires on the Rubicon, and you get proper wheel coverage. Looks pretty nice. So what do you think of the look of the 1-inch Easy Flares compared to the 2-inch version? I'm sure it would be dictated by what tires you have or what style you like. Let me know in the comments section below. But now, if you're interested in getting into this less expensive option of a fender flare extension, stick around for the tip segment. Well, that's it for the installation of our fender flares. If you were interested in getting yourself a set of these and you wanted a discount, make sure you stick around for the tip segment. Now for some cheaper Jeeper tips. EasyFlares.com is offering to Cheaper Jeeper TV viewers a special discount code that you can find in the description section of this video. Also, keep in mind that one roll of Easy Flare is good for 2 fenders, so make sure that you get 2 rolls. Let me know in the comment section below whether or not you got the 1-inch version or the 2-inch XL version. And now, let's hear what our subscribers have to say. And now for subscribers' tips. This week's subscriber tip comes from our How to Lift and Store Your Hardtop Without a Hoist video. Hey Cheaper Jeeper TV, you could even put mounts on the sides for door removal. Signed, Nordikai. Hey Nordikai, thank you so much for making that tip. The thought had crossed my mind while I was making the video, but I neglected to mention it, so thank you very much. And if any of you have any tips that you'd like to share, please feel free to put them in the comment section below, as they may make it in a future video. Thank you very much. Hey, that's it for this week's episode of Cheaper Jeeper TV. I hope that you found it interesting, and if you did, how about giving this video a thumbs up? And if you're new to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button right here and the alert bell so you'll be notified when our next video is released. Until the next time, I'm Dino for Cheaper Jeeper TV. Be well, stay safe, take care.